Hi everyone, your local hipster here to talk to you about the latest Bring Me the Horizon EP music to listen to. ... Oh, you want me to say the whole thing? Great. Music to listen to, dance to, blaze to, pray to, feed to, sleep to, talk to, grind to, trip to, breathe to, help to, hurt to, scroll to, roll to, love to, hate to, learn to, plot to, play to, be to, feel to, breathe to, sweet to, dream to, hide to, live to, die to, go to. I know, it's a ridiculous title, but it is the latest surprise EP from Bring Me the Horizon, Yorkshire or Southern Yorkshire, United Kingdom band who dropped their last album in 2019. Not their last album, but their latest album, YOUNOW, which saw a lot of divided opinions. They were going away from their deathcore, metalcore sound. And while I saw the progression towards a more electropop sound on their previous album, That's the Spirit, this was a big surprise to a lot of people because this was just a pure pop album. At least a pop rock, alternative rock album. And while I didn't think that was a bad album, I didn't review it at the time, I thought there were a number of shortcomings to it. However, I did enjoy some of the tracks on there. What we were not expecting is a surprise EP from the band. And when I first went on Rate Your Music to look at this thing, the genres, oh my god. You got electronic dance music, you have glitch, you have spoken word here and there, progressive house, future garage, art pop. It's a confusing mess of an EP that is 75 minutes. That's like longer than most of their albums. I don't know, anyway, I went into it kind of skeptical and at first listen, it does sound like this weird avant-garde album EP that has a good amount going for it. However, the more you kind of dive into this EP, the more you realize this thing is nothing but a hodgepodge of experiments that failed. For the most part, I think there are about 2 good songs on here, the opening track and the song featuring Halsey. However, there are just moments that are just so overblown and undercalculated that are just absolutely mind-numbing, annoying, repetitive, and too abstract for anyone to make heads or tails of it. To highlight this flaw, I have to point to the song Underground Big. For the first 5 minutes, there is a song here, but after the 5-minute mark, there's just this looping vocal snippet. For how long, you ask? This song is 24 minutes long. And there is a point in this song where there is someone speaking over this looping instrumental. However, they're ranting about veganism and I can barely understand what they're saying. It's mixed very poorly, but if you're gonna have a track like this, you need to say something that's memorable, that's catchy or something. I mean, spoken word necessarily doesn't have to be catchy, but it has to have some attention to it, some grab to it. The song was just boring. 24 minutes? This thing's like 24 hours long. You can listen to every other song around this track because it's just tedious, it's tiresome, it's cumbersome. It reminds me of a drone piece in the middle of Shaking the Habitual by The Knife. It's like on first listen it sounds nice, but after every other listen it just gets tedious to go through. And while I see the importance of that drone piece on Shaking the Habitual, I don't see the importance of this on this album at all. Another thing that I have to point out are the song titles on this thing. What the hell are they? Dead Dolphin Sounds, Aid Brain Growth in Unborn Child, Virtual Therapy, Natural Healing 2 Hours. Like Seeing Spiders Running Riot on Your Lover's Grave. Candy Truck, You Expected, Lab, Your Result, Green. And the 8th track on this thing is titled Zombie, but it looks like this. The track featuring Halsey is just an upside down question mark, and that kind of leads me to believe that this album was just kind of put together haphazardly with no forethought, and it doesn't really do much to that because the best thing about abstract pieces of art is that you can put your own meaning to it. However, this just seems like it's being abstract and in your face just to be abstract and in your face. Is there a statement being made on abstract and experimental releases? Maybe, but that's for the listener to decide. I can't decipher anything about this album because not only is it very all over the place, it is a hodgepodge of unorganized sound, it's chaotic at some points, there is just no cohesion to this. To point to an abstract and experimental release, that is good, I have to point to the Sauce Malone album, A Quiet Farewell, 2016 through 2018, which is this vaporwave-esque album, which I made a review on. You can go watch it. But what was amazing about that album is that all these songs kind of had a flow to them. They were cohesive. There were vocal snippets interposed into some of the songs on the album. Even some tracks had just a vocal snippet as a whole. There was moment, there was flow, there was cohesion, there was a good thing about that album that made it unique. And it was very hard to kind of pigeonhole that album into a category similar to this EP. However, that's because it was just so different from what anyone has ever heard. The only thing you can call it was a sound collage. This thing is just being weird and wild and experimental for the hell of it. And that's fine for artists to do that, but they have to be at least good at it. And this new era of Bring Me the Horizon just sees them kind of toying with sounds that they've never toyed with before. And at some points on this album, they're kind of good. Like on the song Steal Something, the garage sounds on this track remind me of Burial, but if he was happy. They're kind of bright, they have a nice beat to them. I also love the synth arpeggio on the track with Halsey. And I never thought I'd say a Halsey feature is actually really good. Honestly, one of the standouts amongst this EP. However, again, from the song Steal Something to Upside Down Question Mark, what else about this EP makes sense or stands out? Because the longer you go with the track, the more cumbersome these songs get, and the more I get bored listening to this entire thing. Again, there are moments on here that aren't bad. I mean, there are some parts of some songs that sound interesting, but for the most part, this EP is just like entryway experimental music. And in a way, faux avant-garde. I feel like Bring Me the Horizon, they were trying to put together an album or an EP that was like, ooh, let's just make something weird and wild and experimental, and it just didn't turn out that good. If Bring Me the Horizon can maybe hone in this experimentation and have a little more cohesion to a lot of these songs, don't make them so long, they might put together a good collection of tracks that I would call experimental, abstract, avant-garde. However, what they're doing on this EP is just kind of like show and tell. And as a result, this EP doesn't really resonate with me all that much and does not make me excited for what the band has to come. So a C- is what I'm feeling on this EP, but I'm curious to know, what are your thoughts and opinions on this EP down below? Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Leave a like, comment, share, do whatever you want. Let me know how I can improve future videos down below, and remember, this is only my opinion because music is subjective.